welcome to the second day of our Rock Your Revenue Challenge. Today, we're joined by Sanjay from Vajro, and he is the Senior Director of Customer Experience. It's really interesting when we look at customer experience, we see how important it is. We know that as product-based businesses, that there's a lot of competition out there, and the numbers are really staggering. Between 75% of consumers say customer service it affects their decision. Even higher than that, if they have a really bad experience, we know they're not coming back. And we don't want to have that, closed mindset. We want to have that infinite mindset in that. But we do know that sometimes with customers, we have one shot. We have one chance to give them that good experience. And if they don't get it, they're going to move on to somewhere else. And so today, Sanjay is going to talk, like I said, he's from Vajro. And what I know of Vajro and our experience with them is they are constantly looking for better ways to serve their own customers, but then also provide an amazing experience for their customers. And so I'm excited. If you're not familiar with Vajro, they have an app they work with Shopify companies. And what we see as a marketing agency over and over again is that app users spend more money than regular shoppers. So especially, with Vajro, they just provide that amazing experience. And their job, one of my first jobs out of college, they said, make it easy for people to say yes and hard for them to say no. And that is what Vajro does. So Sanjay is going to share with us. And if you guys have any questions, there is a Q&A box. We're going to leave a little bit of time at the end for Q&A also. But please don't shy away from asking any questions. I'll keep my eye on that. So Sanjay, thanks so much for being here, and thanks for sharing.
Thanks a lot, Elizabeth. Thanks for the detailed intro. So like you said, right, so I'm here to basically inform the merchants on what they need to do before the BFCM sale, so that they can ensure that they can see that success that they're aiming for during the sale period. So when you're ready, I can start sharing this PPT, and then we can get started.
You said you could not share it. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, great.
So you want to keep an eye on the Q&A part, right? So
yep, that'll be my job.
Awesome.
And Michelle, my account managers. Well,
okay. Yeah, so like Elizabeth said, right, so today's topic on the webinar is how do you have to how to go about optimizing your shopping experience to ensure that you have good sales happening in your website or the mobile app. So before we deep dive into the session, right, so I just want to quickly give you some facts about what this whole BFCM about, so that you understand the seriousness behind the sale. So about, you see, right, so about 40% of annual online sales are made between the September to December period. So that means that this 4 month is a very crucial period for all the merchants out there to go all out and then ensure that they see enough sales done for the year. And then the second part is obviously during this period, the Shopify store owners collectively, they make about 6.3 billion USD. So that's a huge turnover to see, right, in that short period of time. And then what's interesting is every year that's been raising by about 20-30% constantly. So this year is not going to be a surprise. So I think it's going to be up north of somewhere around 7.5 to $8 billion, I guess. And then the third one obviously is the most important aspect, where a lot of merchants overlook is the 71% of BFCM purchases were made from mobile devices. So that's where these mobile apps play a crucial role, right? So because when the lot of traffic is driven by mobile devices, these either through you need to ensure that the mobile devices or the website is mobile friendly, and also if you're having an app, you need to ensure that it's very user friendly, so that the experience doesn't get affected. So that's the tone that I want to start off with, and then moving forward, obviously now that you know the numbers, you're already kicked in, right? So what do you want to do to ensure that I see that amount of sales also from my store? So I want to share the ingredients, the successful ingredients that you need to take care right before you start setting up a few things for your store. So obviously the first important aspect is for any sale, successful sale, right? You need to have a data-driven outreach strategy. So only few commerce brands are creating more ways for customers to interact with them in 2022. So it's very important that you create an omni-channel approach, because a lot of new age customers, they use multiple channels to make a purchase. So it's very important that you take this approach so that you provide an experience to the customer, and also ensure that you have clear data driven outreach strategy in place as well. And then the second is obviously the experience part. So what you can do to ensure that you are extending that experience to the customer. So what you can do is obviously leverage videos, a lot of videos about the product, and whatever the things that you sell in the website or the app. And then the seamless navigation, the checkout process, the load time, the speed of the app or the website. So all these things are a crucial factor for you to consider to ensure that your website is clearly the topping the chart. And then the third one in the ingredients point is obviously you need to nail down your mobile commerce and social strategy. So like I said, right, more than 71% the traffic comes through mobile. So you need to ensure that through mobile devices, you're ensuring all the payments are sorted out. 60% of the transaction are happening through the mobile devices. And again, 60% of the customers browse through their social feeds to learn about BFCM deals. So it's a very good opportunity for you to optimize for mobile, so that the customers who are actually browsing through the products can get inspired and then complete the checkout process itself through the mobile. So you'll have to give that kind of an experience, so that he doesn't even feel he is not in two thoughts to even log in from the computer and then look into the details of it. So if you're able to optimize it through the mobile, it's really a good strategy to start off with. And then the fourth obviously is the order and fulfillment workflows, because any shipping process is very difficult. The logistics, it's a nightmare, right, for all the store owners. So you need to ensure that you're optimizing shipping processes as well during the sale period, because you might start getting a lot of orders, and you need to ensure that your shipping processes are taken care of. And keeping customers notified on where their order is at all times in the delivery cycle. So right from the shopping experience till any of the customers getting their orders in hand, right? So you need to be very proactive in delivering all the necessary information to the customer, so that he doesn't even panic right after completing his purchase. So you need to be very proactive in that as well, so that you create a very good customer experience, and then he has a very good impression about the brand, and then he sticks to your brand as well. So that obviously is going to increase a lot of user base for your brand and your website. So these are the 4 critical points that you need to really consider for your BFCM. And then moving on, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you about how to optimize your shopping experience throughout, right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to segment it into 4 major things, so that it's easier for you to consume. So what we'll do is we'll go one by one. So the first one obviously is the quality of your website. We're going to talk about that. And then the second one is how to enable a seamless experience throughout all the touch points, not just the website or the app, right from creating that brand awareness outside of your website, be it in your social pages or Google or anything for that fact. And the third one obviously is your product quality that defines your brand, right? So that's an important role as well. And then the fourth one is providing the top-notch customer support. So I'll again very specifically insisting on this particular point, because people generally they neglect the importance of setting up a good customer experience flow, right? So I'm just going to throw some more facts on that. So as you can see, the first one is the customer expectation are always high. So be it any B2C sales, right? So when it comes to customer purchasing online or even from a physical store, their expectations are always high. So you need to really up your game to ensure that you match up that expectations. And then the second is obviously if you want to compete, there are so many brands in terms of fashion, in terms of any other online e-commerce, right? So there's so many brands that you need that you're going to compete with. So how do you stand out from the crowd during the holiday shopping season is another important stuff. So this is the major aspect where you can stand off clearly from the other brands. So going all out in this and then being unique and then offering a very good customer experience itself can make a brand stand out from the overall crowd. And the third point is the 33% say that they stop doing business with the brand they love after just one negative experience. So all it takes for the customer to drop off or even stop purchasing from your store or outlet, all it takes is just one negative experience. So either it gets triggered from your end or from not in your control or within your out of your control. It doesn't matter as long as he thinks that it's a bad experience for him through your brand. He is going to stop coming back to you again and again. So it's very important again. So to even consider this to ensure that you provide. It doesn't matter how many times he's repeating with us. You need to ensure that you keep surprising him with the same experience again and again. And the fourth one is so customers, you can't take customers for granted once they are in the store, right? So it's very important that you need to really be on your toes when it comes to customer experience to ensure that you put out that A game out for any of the consumer to feel they are the king or the queens while they're shopping at the website. So that's an important aspect as well. So every touch point matters here. And then, so you are not aware of which kind of audience you're catering to. So it can be a young age crowd or even the adult crowd. So you're not sure, right? So which kind of audience you're servicing to. So it's you basically have to generalize and ensure that all kinds of crowd you are putting up a solid plan to ensure that you don't disappoint any of them during the purchase cycle. So yeah, like I said, right? So we're going to deep dive on these three aspects and then I'm going to tell you on how you can go about setting up a good customer satisfaction, good holiday campaigns, what you need to do, and then how to see good profitability or gross profit margins for your business during the sale. So we'll go with the first one. So the first one being the customer satisfaction. So, okay, I know that I need to set up a good customer experience flow for my customers. So what should I do? So these are the pointers that you really need to take down for your business so that the overall customer experience goes one notch higher. So the first one obviously is adding self-serve options. So when I say self-serve, creating a lot of FAQs, knowledge base, online discussion forums, online communities. So these things, what they do is they provide a lot of clarity in terms of your products, and if they even face any hiccup during the purchasing event, they can just go to the website FAQ section or the knowledge base section. They just surf about it and then get it sorted, and then they just go ahead and just complete the order on their own itself. So you need to really enable the customer with all this information in the website so that the customer doesn't feel like, okay, he's stranded in the middle and he doesn't know whether to proceed further or not. So this is another important step to even consider for your whole customer satisfaction journey. And the second one is how do you ensure that you're addressing all your customer queries? Because trust me when I say this, it might look as simple as I read it, but it's not, because if I have to give you one interesting fact, about 80% of the store, they find it very difficult to even address 100% of the queries that are incoming through their either through their chats or through the social media pages or the emails that they get. So they don't even respond. So it's very important that you really need to up your game in that aspect as well, because this plays an important role in customers' mind, because if they don't get acknowledged, they will lose trust on the brand. So it's very important that you provide that experience of, say, 90% of the customers say receiving an immediate response within 10 minutes or less is important when they have a query. So using live chat option to provide quick resolution is a very, very famous stuff that people and definitely go for, because during the sale you never know, right, how many queries that come in. So it's safe to set up all these things so that the customer feel enabled, and if they are in doubt they can obviously chat and get their query sorted, because they don't while shopping they don't want to feel left out. If they have a doubt, if nothing is answered through your FAQs or knowledge base, then obviously they will feel left out, and then it becomes an incomplete experience during the shopping phase, right? So it's important to have a live chat facility as well, so that whenever customer feels that they have doubts beyond the things that you've set up as self-serve, you're there to answer their queries. So that's another important thing that you need to consider. And then you need to give a lot of importance to this BFCM thing, right? So you see a lot of brands creating their own specific landing pages. So what it does is obviously it puts it puts a lot of onus on this particular sale period, and then you have all the deals and offers in one single place, so that the customers can easily land in this page, surf how much ever they want, and if they like it, they just go ahead and complete the purchase, right? So it's very important that you set up that flow seamlessly for the customer to come and spot the offer, and then just ensure that they check out seamlessly as well, because what is the use of creating all these offers and not displaying it in front of their eyes? So it's very important that you create a specific landing pages, so that people who are coming for their offers, for your offers, they see seamlessly land on that particular page, and then they just surf for the products that they want, and then they just complete the entire checkout flow, and then get done with the purchase itself. And then obviously the fourth point is the gamification part, which everybody does very beautifully. So what you can do is during the sale period, you entice your customers with exclusive promo codes, flat discounts, free products with every order, cashbacks, loyalty programs, incentives. So these are the gamification that you can start working around, and then start setting it up for the sale period, so that people do feel that, okay, people like gamification, right? So they really feel that, okay, then only if you are providing codes when everybody is doing that and you're not doing it, obviously they don't even come to your website, and then why they will definitely not even be attracted to your website, because you're not offering anything while everybody else in the industry is offering one. So this is another important stuff that you need to consider. And then the most important, these are the hygiene things that you need to check, because when you're doing a lot of spends and ensuring that the customers are landing into your website or the app, and if you're not having your website to the fullest potential, that it doesn't even operate at a very good pace, or the speed, that is either the website loading pace or the app speed, if it's not optimized very well, then obviously the customer is going to get frustrated, right? Because nobody likes to have pages loading like taking more than 4 seconds or 5 seconds for that fact. So nobody likes that, right? So it's very important that you optimize your website speed for high traffic. So you really need to have a very good strategy in place for that. So you really need to focus for the high traffic volume, so that when you're planning for the sale, you're covered for that. You don't want to get surprised that when suddenly you have like about say 200, 300 customers coming in, and then you don't have the website optimized for that. You don't want to be in that space. So it's very important that you plan for the highest number, and then ensure that you're optimized for that. And then the fourth is obviously enabling easy checkout. So facilitate a smooth buying process by offering quick checkout options. So when it comes to finance, the checkout options, you really have to be the game changer here. So if you want to be the game changer, you need to really have all the checkout options available, so that customer feels like, okay, whatever finance options that he wants to choose, it's there, and he doesn't even have to think twice to complete the purchase. So that's another thing that you can really differentiate from other brands as well. So that's something that you can consider. And moving on, so if you want to talk about new age digital approaches like curbside pickup, so these are very in e-commerce, it's becoming very popular, right? So the curbside pickup, buy online, pick up in store, BNPL. Nobody wants to wait in line and then complete a purchase in physical store. So they want to pay, buy online and then just pick up the necessary product from the store itself, and then buy now, pay later, social commerce, real-time order tracking. So these are the new digital thing that has been introduced in the e-commerce industry. So it's better to get adopted to that, so that if you want to be the real, if you really want to be the game changer in the during the sale period, you really have to consider all these things. And then this this again is a very small thing that you might think, but it's a very important factor in terms of customer experience, because free shipping is something that a lot of people neglect. So why it's important is because for nearer geographies, and clearly mentioned the excluded cities, you really need to have you really need to give that clarity to the customer, because you don't want to surprise the customer after ordering all the products, and then he comes to the checkout page and sees a very high shipping charges added on top of that. So that definitely doesn't give a smoother experience for anybody, right? So you really have to be very clear on what you can offer upfront itself, so that people are aware and they're not getting surprised at the end of the checkout page. So moving on to the next topic, the next bucket obviously is how you can bring efficiency to your holiday campaign. So we're going to talk about that. So first of all, it's very important that you need to finalize on the channels that you want to approach, basically to generate more leads, right? So what are the channels that you can really work on, and then just go with that. So the first one, obviously the most important channel, is social media. So you need to really leverage it to the fullest. And obviously the second is the affiliate or the partner programs to publicize your BFCM professions and acquire new consumers. So these are the channels that you can really focus on to um, get more consumers attracted to your website very early on during the sale. And the second is, obviously everybody does this, right? So you keep getting these emails of the sale period going to get started in about a week's time or a month's time. Don't miss it. Start adding things to your cart, all this stuff. So people use it very wisely. So you need to have your own strategy for FOMO marketing. So use FOMO to make your customers feel like they're losing something big by not signing up to your channels, newsletters, or SMS email marketing list. So it's very important that you start off right away for this BFCM, so that you really um, attract a very decent crowd during your sale period. So yeah, the next one is the email communication. And so why it's important is, obviously it's very powerful, right? The email communication. So people generally they discount this, but it's very powerful, trust me, because when you use it wisely, it definitely brings a lot of value. So all these promotion, exclusive offers, all these things can be done through this email campaign. You can even target customers through email campaigns. Who have purchased with you in the last 10 months, 15 months, or 12 months. So you can easily retarget those customers, and then just create that awareness, and then create that FOMO, and then ensure that they land on your website again to do some more shopping. And the next one is make gift exchanges easy. So what you need to be aware of is, obviously there are going to be a lot of sales. That's a negligible thing, right? So but post that, what happens when people return? What do you do after that? So what we need to do really is allow customers to easily exchange a new style, size of product without needing to repurchase. Offer free shipping on exchanges, as well, free pickup or free shipping. So anything that can add a lot of value to your brand website, that you really have to consider, because this one particular period is where you will have to go all out, right? So yeah, you really have to think about your game, and set all these things upfront really well for the consumers to ensure that they have a very good experience with your brand. So So again, I'd like to reiterate that why it's so important to make your website very mobile friendly. So 2021, about 73% of all e-commerce was generated via mobile commerce. So I don't want to stress more on that fact. So it's a important thing that everybody knows that, okay, it has to be done. So moving on, why it's important to keep a tab on your inventory, because you know that you have you want to sell only this much, right? So you need to really keep tabs on your inventory, and you don't want to give that bad experience to the consumer where they complete the purchase and then you can go back to them and saying that, okay, this product has been sold out, sorry, and you need to shop again. So you really have to keep a tab on your inventory and ensure that you have enough stock to handle the surge in sales and replacements. And this is already shared, leverage omni-channel marketing. So Facebook ads, emails, newsletters, SMS, messenger, etc. All these things you need to really leverage to optimize your holiday campaigns. And then clearly define the terms and conditions. So this is where people do miss the ball. So why it's important to clearly define the terms and conditions on the discount page, like eligibility criteria, exclusion criteria, all these things. So you need to really have one exclusive page where you have all these conditions clearly defined, so that consumers, when they have a problem, your support people can direct them to this page and they can read into this in detail. Yeah, so moving into the final bucket is obviously the sales and profitability, right? So it's a very important period, and I know I can understand that a lot of brands are looking up to the profit margins as well during this sale period. So I'd like to start off with a very important fact that any global online retail business, a good profit margin is considered to be above 40%. And so what you need to get there is, obviously these are the pointers that you need to consider. So what for the first one is obviously the revisit your spends regularly. So I know I can understand, right? So because in this 4 months, it's going to be like crazy. There's going to be crazy demand, crazy sales happening across. So you really have to be very mindful about the spends that you're doing. So you really have to have a strategy in place on how much you're going to spend on paid ads to acquire new customers, and then how much you're going to spend on remarketing those existing customer base, so that you can really get even with the CAC, and obviously even out with the profit margins as well. And second is the loyalty programs to retain and engaging existing customers. So how much you can give back to generate interest for your own customer base, so that they can come back and do some more shopping during that period. And then this is a very tricky thing. So a lot of people think twice to do this. But most important point is, when I say you need to raise your prices, it's you can do as minimal as a 10% or 5% hike, that you definitely can see at the end of the sale. You will definitely see an increase of margin by 35 to 50%. So I have seen brands when they do a very meager 5-10% increase in their product prices, they end up making more money at the end of the sale. So a lot of people miss the bus in this particular aspect. So it's important that you really consider this point. And then next is this is again a very famous thing where a lot of e-commerce stores follow, right? So when you create bundles, obviously it kind of put pressure on the consumer to buy more products, just because he thinks that he's getting a lot of value out of this offer. So what he tries to do is he adds a lot of items in his cart, and then he checks out. So you're basically, what you're doing at the end of the day is increasing his average order value per customer. So this is a very popular tactic used by all the e-commerce brands during the sale period. And then the second is adding product recommendations on all product checkout and payment confirmation pages. So again, this is another important tactic which everybody follows, because when the website says that this is recommended for you because you've purchased this, so that's where people go blindly and trust your suggestions, right? So that really does add a lot of value. And how you can convert one-time purchases into subscriptions. So that's another important thing that you really need to consider, because during the sale, it's important to make all the consumers, new consumers that come into your website, your regular customers after that. So that's something that you really need to consider, because you've spent a lot of money for the campaigns, right? So how do you ensure that they stick to your brand? So this is one important step that people follow to ensure that they retain the customer. And the fourth one is encouraging customers to spend a minimum amount by offering a discount on orders over a certain amount, of free shipping on a minimum order amount. So this is again a very, very popular tactic used by all the e-commerce brands out there. So no doubts over there. So moving on, provide discounts again. So offer like buy two get one free outperforms almost any other type of offer by 14 to 22%. So it's very important that you make it very, very explicitly uh, enticing for the customer to come in and buy more products in your website or the app, right? So this is another important tactic. So don't just go with the flat discount or just a plain discount. So use just do a mix and match of everything, so that consumers do get enticed, and then they shop for more. So we've almost at the end of this webinar. So what I want to conclude with is what is the most important thing that you should not be doing during this season. So these are the pointers that I put together. So I think this will be very handy if you ensure that these are not followed. So if you have to run through quickly, so introducing big changes to your strategy or workflows to ensure there are no roadblocks while shopping. So complicating offers and discounts like buy X to get Y percentage off on something else, and combining BFCM offers with other ongoing offers, ignoring customer acquisition and focusing only on customer retention, not checking if discounts are working properly before they are made live. So not checking for broken links or CTAs or BFCM. So all these aspects are very, very important to be considered, because this you can be taking as a checklist as well, because all these affects customer experience, and thus will lead to poor sales during the sale time. So very, very important pointers that I've put together, so that you can ensure that you're not committing these mistakes when you set up your store for the BFCM sale. And then, thank you guys. I think the entire session will be useful. I think I'm going to share this website across to Elizabeth as well. I think she can share it in a common forum where you can use it as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.